where my side did mistake. And you know, growing up in the Israeli educational system, there is one thing that we are taught all the time. Basically, Israel wants peace all the time. The Prime Minister of Israel are always pro-peace. And the other side doesn't want that. Believe me, it's far away from that. And it's not me saying that. This was the most shocking evidence that I got there. It's far away from that. Basically, the Israeli leadership, whenever it was convenient to her to sit down and not do anything, they chose that. And I'll give you just one example for that, the last 4 years. The last 4 years, basically, and it was published a few days ago, a statistic data that no Israeli died in the last year from terror attack coming from the West Bank. This is amazing, this is unprecedented. What did we do in the last 4 years? Nothing. Netanyahu, although declared that he's for a two-state solution, he didn't move an inch towards the moderate, let's say, Palestinian. On the contrary, Netanyahu, the big tough guy, is the one that released 1,000 Hamas prisoners from jail for in the bargain for the occupied soldier Gilad Shalit. Netanyahu, 2 months ago in December, negotiated with whom for the ceasefire in Gaza? With Hamas. Although he doesn't admit that he did that with Hamas, he brought for the first time Khaled Mash'al, the head of Hamas, into the west, into Gaza, basically saying he is willing to destroy all Israel. This is Netanyahu, the tough guy. And while that is happening in the West Bank, he's humiliating Abu Mazen. It makes him smaller and smaller, makes him not even irrelevant to his own people, basically showing the Palestinian people, the moderate Palestinian people, that Israel understands only one language. You can, if you want to reach something, if you want to achieve something, use force and you will achieve that. And this is something that I am totally against. Up there.
If in the United States the last 6 heads of the CIA or the FBI came out with interviews of this sort repudiating the good faith and the policies of the government itself or the organization itself would respond. I wonder if there's been any response to this film from other leaders of Shin Bet or from...
There is no other leader of Shin Bet who is not in the film. All the leaders of Shin Bet, all.
Including the current? Including the current?
The last one that I interviewed, Yuval Diskin, the younger one, yeah, was still head of Shin Bet. The interview with him was done in the headquarters of Shin Bet. He's now left, no, but it's because of me.
But I'm saying today, one would think, given the publicity this film has received and the popularity of it in Israel, that has there been no response at all from the current members or other former members of the Shin Bet who would repudiate what these people are saying is reflecting?
Not up until now. Not up until now. And let me just cite for you what one of them said to me. One of the last ones said to me, you know, you are coming, I'm basically almost citing him word to word. He said, you are coming to me as head of Shin Bet, you are interviewing heads of Shin Bet in your movie, but I dare you to go to all the operatives of the Shin Bet, those that are on the ground. Some of them are right-wing, some of them are left-wing, some of them wear kippah, some of them not, some are secular, some are religious, some of them live in settlements, some of them do not live in settlements, division heads, section heads, operatives on the ground, and they will almost all of them, I'm almost sure, will give you the same answer. The Shin Bet, because of its constant hold on the ground, understand that nothing good will come for the state of Israel from maintaining that conflict. And it is within the best interest of Israel to move forward as strong as they can towards peace. This is coming from them. Wow. Not saying that there can be peace, but they are saying that it is within the best interest of Israel to move forward honestly, sincerely, mean what you say and say what you mean, towards two-state solution and peace.
These people, these operatives also, by the way, hold on, they were also operatives before they were the leaders of Shin Bet. No, so you are getting information from them as well.
With the military leaders today who are running the operations in the West Bank and who are watching.
Look, if I will look, I'm trying to understand where do you want us to go. I'm sure that if I will go to all the military leaders, one of them will say they are wrong. If this is, I'm sure that I can find someone like them.
No,
but I brought to you.
I think the film is a remarkable, incredibly remarkable film, and I'm just trying to. If it happened in the United States and we had the last 6 leaders of the CIA or FBI give those kind of interviews, there would be an outrage in this country about the policies of the politicians, of the government. And it's hard for me to understand.
Yeah. I agree with you. I hope it will create the rage of what you are. But Israel is a completely different society. I can tell you that, let's say, I'll give you another example. The issue of Iran, for example. Everybody heard about bombing Iran and all of that. All 4 heads of the main army and intelligence agencies in Israel, the head of the Mossad, the head of the Shin Bet, the head of the army, and the head of the army intelligence were very, very strong against a strike like that from Israel. They said that publicly.
Yeah.
It was unprecedented in front of a prime minister and defense minister.
We only have time for 1 or 2 more questions. Up there, you would try to...
Most of my questions got answered. I was going to ask if there were any intelligence heads who didn't agree, but you've already answered that. And I guess I'm also curious, was there any kind of discouragement from anybody as you're making this film? Obviously,
it was a very secretive film also. When I was doing it, it was kept very low profile. I knew after I finished the interviews that I had dynamite in my hand.
Yeah.
So the main goal for me was to keep it as silent as I could until the release. And I kept it very, very quietly.
Did these 6 guys get along?
Those they don't really like each other. They actually it was a month ago. It was very nice. It was the opening night in Tel Aviv in the Cinematheque. The only time in history that 6 heads of Shin Bet sat together for a joint photograph was then. They don't really like each other. They don't have that kind of club with cigars and whiskey which they discuss. Not at all.
Dror, thank you so very much for coming in. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you.